Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is actually the first video of a two-part series I'm going to go ahead and do. This first video is dealing with fragrance addiction and living beyond your means. I just wanted to quickly talk about that, and in the second video we'll actually cover some quick 10 tips on how you guys can kind of help yourselves with it. Now, the reason why this video and this video series kind of came up was because I was actually talking with a reviewer about a week ago specifically, and he was telling me about how the fragrance game is, really expensive, things like that, and I was agreeing with him. And then he let mention, and he just kind of mentioned it in a bit. He said, "Man, they're so expensive that I might have to declare bankruptcy." And he was being serious, and that floored me because, well, I kind of joke around about it. I would not ever put myself in a position where fragrances cause me financial ruin or financial hardship or anything like that. In fact, it's not even anywhere close or near on the radar. And then I started thinking, only because I got an email actually from a subscriber that kind of covered somewhat of the same thing. He was basically asking for fragrances because, he was in dire financial straits because of, some other reason, and I don't want to go into it too much, but I started realizing that there are a lot of people, specifically young people, who are, buying these expensive fragrances, specifically fragrances that I'm talking about and mentioning, and other reviewers are mentioning, and feeling the need to kind of have the best and the most up-to-date fragrances within the fragrance community, kind of keeping up with the Joneses, if you will, where they're just, they're buying fragrances. Yes, they like the fragrances, they think they smell good, but at the same time, there's also some additional motivation that they want to, be the first to have it, or they want to, be up there with the cause, and just, so many other things. And I gotta say, man, it's just not worth it. I feel really bad that my videos may have caused some of this reaction from some people, where they see me review a really expensive fragrance, I talk about how great it is, and they go out and buy it, and when they really can't afford it. And that made me feel terrible. In fact, if I found that my videos were the cause of a majority of those things, I would stop reviewing in a heartbeat, because to me, I'm a reviewer. I like to review fragrances, I like to experience those fragrances, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to have them or anything like that. I find many ways to kind of, reduce, get free fragrances from companies, buy samples, borrow fragrances from people. I find many ways to review fragrances, and I never ever put myself in financial straits, and don't ever really want to be responsible for putting other people in financial straits. There's a term that has been thrown around, influencer, and I have to wholeheartedly disagree. I hate that word. I hate being called an influencer, and I've had to correct some people when they've called me that. They're like, "Hey, you're an influencer." I'm like, "No, I'm a reviewer. I review fragrances, sometimes video games, or things, but I'm not an influencer in that." A lot of these influencers are specifically doing it for monetary reasons, whereas I'm not. I want, my goal, if you will, or my dream, is to kind of come back maybe 20 years from now, if YouTube is still around, and see videos of me reviewing something. I want somebody to come to my video and be able to get an impression of what something is. They don't have to buy it. Just an idea of what a fragrance may be about, or a game may be about. So, that's pretty much it. So, at the end of the day, whatever you do, this is just a hobby. It's just something that I do for fun. Fragrances, while I love it, I love fragrances so much, they're never a cause of financial pain or hardship for me. And, I just really hate to see people doing the same. So when you see people out there, purchasing fragrances, even when you see things like my collection, realize that, I didn't go out and just go nuts with a lot of these fragrances. My creeds, all of my creeds are the genuine article, but at the same time, I've never paid full price for a single creed. Not a single one. Not any of my flacons, nothing basically. I have not paid a single full price for it. Why? Because I had a hookup at Bergdorf Goodman. Bergdorf Goodman had this sale, or not sale, but they had like a friends and family thing that they do every quarter, and I had somebody who was working there, and they went ahead and purchased my creeds for me. So all of them I got half off. So it's, or some fragrances I get from companies. So it's very deceptive. Don't think that I'm out here, just throwing all of my money at fragrances. I only buy what I can genuinely afford with my, with some of my free money, if you will. So don't get it twisted. I'm not, putting myself into financial, straits, and I hope that you guys are not as well too. I'm happy to talk with anyone if they have, a fragrance problem, a fragrance addiction. And sorry, I forgot to mention this at the very beginning, but I actually initially got this idea from Dell, who is another reviewer. And if I find his video, I'm going to go ahead and link it down below. But I see what he was saying now, and I fully agree with that. But either way, yeah. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, feel free, put a discussion down below. And look out for the second video coming. That's going to have to do with specific financial tips that you can go ahead. And don't worry, when that video, I'm not actually referring you to any products or anything like that. I'm going to tell you guys what worked for me, because I was not always somebody who was good with their money or anything like that. All right. So thank you guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.